Welcome to HDPP Live on a Saturday night to the UK and around the world with photos, memories and friends. This is HDPP Live. How are you this evening? Are you all well?
Hinckley District has the present for you, meeting friends old and new. Streaming Wednesdays and Saturdays too, with founder members Paul and Sue. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where the memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Film clips, photos, memories and friends helps a dreary night go by. We're in Hinckley, six of the best, stupendous, quizzical high. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Let's take you back in time. A community affair. We'll take you for a ride. Henson's Cab will take you there. We're making history. HDPP, chapter pauses. History supporting local causes. Streaming HDPP live. Betty is our queen bee. The sweetest honey candy. Dangerous Den here again. HDPP live. Hey, you know we keep it in HDPP.
Oh, hello. Come here, there's more. Get them likes coming in. Good evening. Welcome to the newsroom here at Hinckley District, past and present. Keep the likes coming in. Ring my bell. My word, am I? Oh. Don't forget to like and subscribe to HDPP. Then you get notifications of when we go live. Lovely to have you here tonight in the HDPP newsroom. What do you think, eh? Look, you see what's on that screen? And that one over there, probably a bit later on, is going to have... I'm a Celebrity on, yeah. So we thought, let's get down to the old control room, yeah. Okay, lovely. It's great that you're here tonight, and as you can hear, plenty of likes coming in, and it's been a busy old weekend for HDPP, but welcome to the programme. Plenty of things to get on with tonight, and I want to keep it nice and quick and sort of informal tonight because we've got quite a bit to get through, as always. So welcome to the programme. And as we look straight away into the old chat room, let's see, we started, Anne Hunt was very first through. Hi, Anne. Blowing kisses too. Oh, no, I'm glad I had a bath. Hi to Ian Roberts. He's here. And Daniel Coburn's here as well tonight. He said he doesn't mind Saturdays or Sundays, but Sundays, what a great way to end the weekend. Yeah, why not, indeed. Also, Paul Glover's here. Hi, Paul. Hope you're going to do well on Six of the Best tonight. We've got that coming up very, very shortly. Pat Galloway. I was talking about cooey the other day, actually, and I said, I remember my mum, bless her, she used to do cooey, and also, I've also heard another one, over the street, at Castle Street, So I heard somebody do that the other day. Not cooey, but they go, ooh. I love it. I love it. Anyway, so good evening, Pat. Jan Kirby's in. Jan, you and Mike, thanks for popping in yesterday to St Mary's Church, and for Mike for buying the teas and the coffees. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. I was on my feet all day. My word, did I need to relax last night. So thank you very much for coming along. Also, Russet's here. Hi, Russet. Wishing everybody, a good evening. And also, are the fireworks going off? Well, I don't know about where you are tonight, particularly here in Hinckley. There was some going off earlier on, but it's gone quiet now because they were going off out the back here. And I thought, well, some of them will come over on the microphone. But maybe I'm tempting fate. I think they've stopped now as well. David Allen is here, all the way from Boston in Lincolnshire as well. And got to say hello to Emma too. I've done that, so there we go. Dennis Dangerous Denny's here too. Oh wow, they've all got nothing else better to watch tonight on a Sunday evening. So welcome, Dangerous Den. David Blow is in. He's managed to crank up his internet to nearly 7 tonight. So welcome, David. Queen Bee's here, saying sit back and enjoy the programme. I think I might just do that tonight. No point me doing it. Let somebody else have a go. Mary Blake's here as well. David S. is here. Nice to know that you're there. And Maureen and Ray are here. They're all poised and ready to go for our 6 of the best tonight. We'll be doing that very, very shortly. Hi, Jim Kirby. You see, Jim Kirby, or if somebody can tune in all the way from out there in the Mediterranean, everybody else in Hinckley could, I tell you. The Starnborough. The Starnboroughs are here this evening as well, so nice to know that you've made it, David. Lovely. Also, Elaine Galloway. Elaine, lovely that you've made it too. Tim and little Jane are here. Let's hope your internet stays up tonight. You were having trouble last time, weren't you? Yeah. So there we go. Okay, so that is the lineup so far in the chat room. We'll keep referring back to that in a bit. So, yeah, we had lots of people coming into St Mary's Church yesterday, as Jan Kirby said, and lots of people just coming in to chat to us, which was nice. We could have done with a few more sales, but listen, we're not worried about that. We had a good time at St Mary's the week before. We did very, very well on our sales. Okay then, so tonight's although we've now moved to Sundays, tonight is the very last night which we'll actually do the prize draw one more time before we put it to bed as far as that goes. Now let me tell you what's going to happen next week, because this is important. Next Sunday, of course, is Remembrance Sunday, and as always here on HDPP, we will be running our roll call, which we do every year on Remembrance, okay? But I didn't feel it was appropriate to actually be doing that and do the raffle draw at the same time. So what I'm going to do is Saturday night, 7:30 only, we're going to do the prize draw. Nothing else, just the prize draw. So it'll be for about 15 minutes, okay? So next Saturday evening, prize draw. So we're going to draw it on the night we said we were going to draw it, but it's going to be just the prize draw on its own. And then come Sunday night, we'll be doing our Remembrance. I just feel it's better that way than doing a prize draw in the middle of the roll call. Just doesn't rub right with me at all. So I'm sure that you'll agree. So, I was nearly fricked then. Right, so that's what we're going to do next week. So Saturday night is the draw night. We'll just do the draw and that's it. Sunday night, we'll be doing our Remembrance roll call as we've done every year. Yeah. Pat Galloway saying, oh, well done, mate. Totally agree. And I do believe everybody can understand why we've done that this time. Okay, then. So I was already mentioning... always to mention it about the prize draw. Let's go through it one more time then. Here we go. We're going to miss this, aren't we? The prize draw, yeah, you see, it closed officially sort of, well, it's tonight really, even though we've got the 5th on. It's because we've moved the live stream, you see. So this is your very last chance to have a go at the live stream. And of course, as you see there, the draw does take place on the 12th of November in the live stream, a special live stream at 7:30 next Saturday evening. So prize number 1, some Christmas decorations. We have a calendar from Hinckley, Burbage and Bosworth photographed. We also have a beach clock. Yes, tell the time when you're on the beach. Yes, that's be nice in someone's kitchen. we have a hand crocheted blanket. Lovely this is. I can't get it. It's beautiful. It really, really is. Moving on to this one. It's a desk tidy in the shape of a Volkswagen automobile thing. Yeah, I know. David Attenborough DVDs, the absolute god of the natural world. Brilliant. That's a great prize for anybody. And remember, some of these could be stocking fillers for friends, family, whatever. We have 4 gift cards as well, varying in cost, but we've got the Bowden card, which is, I think that's worth about £50. We've got the 2 Asda cards, and then we've got the Musketeer card, yes, the All for One card. I think that's £15 on that one, but once again, but they are all separate. They are all separate prizes in themselves, okay? Jolly good. Couple of picture frames, always make use of a good picture frame. Put auntie, put granny, put granddad in, whatever, but they will look nice on any wall. We have a fabric pin cushion kit. I could say so much about this, but I better not. Because I still enjoy doing this. So, moving on. A great big boys toy, really, but we'll say it's a kid's thing, but it's really the big boys toy. It's a space rail set. Build this track and then roll the balls down. See them do magical tricks and whiz round and stuff. It's great fun, I tell you. And once again, it's still sealed. It's still got the cellophane on it and everything. It's not like it's up and shut nor broken. All right. Okay. Here's a great gift, isn't it, as well for somebody? It's a tie. It's cufflinks. It's a tie clip, and of course, it is a watch in a lovely presentation box. It's going to make someone's Christmas very, very nice. I know it will. So it could be you. A handbag. Yes, it does exactly what it says on the tin. If you put a brick in it, swing it round, it's a lethal weapon. Yes, it's a handbag. And it could be yours. Who knows? Probably Kevin Beasley will win that. He tends to win that sort of thing. A travel document wallet. Put all your travel documents in, your passports, and all your passes and everything. That's a super little prize. It looks like a little Filofax type. Can you remember Filofaxes? Maybe we ought to get one of them as well. But there you go. Another little gift. And our £50 second cash prize is kindly donated by MI Installations. We say thank you to them. 50 quid could be yours. And of course, the top prize, £100. £100 cash. Now, just remember, somebody's going to win that, and only one ticket of £1 can win it. It could be yours. So one lucky ticket will get that £100 cash. Imagine winning £100 just before Christmas. It's going to help, no doubt, and all for the sake of £1. Absolutely. Okay, and this is how you can do it. All anyway. But after tonight, we close it. And you can send a cheque to us if you like. But for every £1 you donate, we'll put a ticket in with your name into the draw. There's the bank transfer details if you haven't done it. Yet, but please do it pronto. Because we want to close it. It takes us a week to print all the tickets up. We have to make sure that for how much you've put in, that we've got the correct amount of tickets with your name on. So we do all this quite properly, and that's another reason we want to do the prize draw live, so you can see for yourselves. It's not fixed, it's not rigged. You'll see the whole lot. And if I can save up enough money, might even be able to get Mrs. G to appear, but her appearance fee, and she said she's got to put it up because of the blooming running costs. I mean, I can't afford it nearly, but I'll see. Maybe she'll get a bit of Christmas spirit before then. So anyway, so that's the prize draw, and like I say, we'll be drawing that on Saturday night. Please help us raise money for local good causes, and we'll be presenting our local good causes, whoever they are, when you have nominated them next month in February. So we'll be dishing it all out in February. Okay. Thank you. Keep the likes coming. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Right, we're going to get on then, shall we? Into 6 of the best, shall we? Now, as always, remember, with 6 of the best, do not put your answer in the chat room because people nick your answers. Keep them to yourself, write them down. I think it's quite easy this week, but there again, I would. Here we go, 6 of the best. Demanding the best of your brain cells. How are your brain cells this evening? Yeah, if anything like mine, a bit vacant at the moment. So let us start then With our general knowledge, our local knowledge rather, new buildings, Leicester Road and Butt Lane share what in common? Now remember, do not put your answer in the chat room. While you're just having to think about that, Jim Kirby said, hi cousin Maureen, and hi sister Janny Law nephew, and Tim Townsend and Jane, and Uncle Tom Cobley, and oh, yes, Jim, it's a pleasure to pass on your message to your relatives back here in good old Blighter. Okay, moving on to question 2. The former council offices in Argentsmead was officially opened in what year? Was it 1966, 1968 or 1969? Can you remember? I remember it happening, but can you get the right date? The former council offices in Argentsmead was officially opened in what year? 1966, 1968 or 1969? One of them is indeed the correct answer. General knowledge. Now, I like this one. Now, keep it clean. What couldn't you do on the lower deck of a double-decker bus that you can do upstairs? Now, listen. Stop it now. I know you lot. What couldn't you do on the lower deck of a double-decker bus that you could do upstairs? I don't want to hear anything else. Stop it. Okay, that is the general knowledge question this evening. Oh, and another. They like that one. Right, okay. True or false? The 5 rings on the Olympic flag are interlocking. Is that true? Is it false? I can hear you all now, desperately going on to Google. Cheating to find out which it's true or false. The 5 rings on the Olympic flag are interlocking. Is that true or false? So here's where am I? I'll leave it on the screen just a minute. It gives me a chance to have a slurp of my water here, by the way. There we go, that's better. Where am I? Oh, Paul. I've used this, but it's been a long time ago. So where am I? Looks painful if you sat on one of them. But where am I? Yeah. It's a good one, isn't it? Okay. And on to question number 6, which is, of course, the anagram question. Argentine's Benson Hotel. Argentine's Benson Hotel. A slow winding route gets you here. Or indeed, don't get caught up here. I'll tell you now, I'm looking for a pub somewhere in the area. It's not Hinckley, so I will tell you that. Okay? The clue is a slow winding route gets you here, or don't get caught up here. I had to explain the clues to Mrs. G, and then she said, oh. Argentine's Benson Hotel. A slow winding route gets you here, or don't get caught up here. You'll see it all will make sense, but it's not in Hinckley. It's a pub, and it's in the HDPP area, if you like. Okay, very, very quickly, one more time, then through the old questions. New buildings, Leicester Road and Butt Lane share what in common? Question 2, the former council offices in Argentsmead was officially opened in what year? Question 3, general knowledge. What couldn't you do on the lower deck of a double-decker bus that you could do upstairs? Stop it. Question 4, the 5 rings on the Olympic flag are interlocking. True or false? Where am I? So like Maureen Harris says, so I'm not cheating. I call it educating oneself. All right. And question number 6. Argentine's Benson Hotel. Write all those down. And that's the clue is a slow winding route gets you here. Or another clue for the village we're looking for, because that's really what the second clue is for. Don't get caught up here. Right. So we're looking for a pub somewhere in the HDPP area. It's not Hinckley. It's still very popular apparently. There you go. Let's see what you come up with. Now, I think once you get one, when you get the village, you'll know the pub, or if you get the pub, you'll know the village. It's as simple as that. I can't be more straight than that. So there we go. Okay then, right. Okay, so here we are on this Sunday evening, and as I say, you can see I'm sitting in the newsroom because I'm getting ready for the live feed a bit later on of I'm a Celebrity, which will be coming in. That one over there, I think. We'll see if it appears later. However, got lots to get through tonight, so with no further ado, as we approach Remembrance, because next week we're doing the roll call, so I thought this week we could keep a theme of Remembrance running through the programme. So there we go. So I want you to settle back and enjoy this little short drama play from Pudding Bag Productions. I think this is really good, and it all makes sense, but you've got to watch till the end.
Oh, it's good to be back. Good old St. Helens. How well I remember the times I used to come here with my school. There would be old Canon Denton, trying his best to hold our attention with one of his sermons, and not succeeding very well. Oh, and the hymns. How I remember the hymns. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching us to war.
Oi, 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 what's all this row? Who's this waking us from our slumber?
Mon Dieu, quel bruit!
I do beg your pardon, gentlemen, I didn't see you there. I say, I don't believe we've been formally introduced. Lieutenant Colonel Bent of the Leicestershire Regiment at your service, sir.
Lieutenant Jonathan King, Bengal Infantry. Honour to meet you, sir.
Capitaine Corbin.
Who goes there? Stay back, stay back.
Oh, easy there, friend.
Friend? How do I know you're friends? You don't look like friends to me. What are you doing here?
It's a church, soldier. All are welcome here.
Not anymore. This church lies within our defences and you are strangers here. So come on, speak up and speak up quickly. Are you for king or for parliament?
Well, I certainly fought for king and country.
And I fought in the name of the Queen.
Queen? You are much confused, soldier. And what about you, soldier?
Well, I fought for no king or queen. I was with the army of the Emperor Napoleon.
What? I don't know who you all are, but you look like traitors to me. I should shoot the lot of you without delay.
No, wait. I've just realised what's going on here.
I wait for no traitors.
You can't kill us.
I can. I'm about to do exactly that.
No, you can't kill us because we're already dead.
What?
We're all dead. You too. We're all brother soldiers who died in the service of our country.
Don't try your roundhead tricks with me, I'm warning you.
If you don't believe me, take a look at the bed you just rose from. It's no bed, soldier. It's your grave. You see, we're all comrades in arms. Take me. I fought in the Great War. I was at Polygon Wood in 1917. I led a charge against the enemy, and I was gunned down or blown to pieces by a shell. I can't remember. The last thing I remember is shouting, "Come on, Tigers!" as we charged forward.
Tigers? You served in India, like me.
No, Polygon Wood is in Belgium.
Belgium? They have tigers there?
No, not wild tigers. The Leicestershire Regiment was known as the Tigers.
But why?
Because they were brave and fought like tigers. I was proud to lead them. But what about you?
I was with the Bengal Infantry in India at the time of the Indian Mutiny. I was with the British forces when they moved to recapture Lucknow. I was killed just a day before they succeeded.
What about you, soldier?
Do you remember now who you were and what happened to you?
Yes, yeah. It all comes back to me now. I was in the Royalist garrison with Lord Hastings at Ashby Castle. But I was shot dead by a Roundhead.
Oh, I see. So you were here in the castle during the English Civil War. Now, I remember learning about it at school. I was a pupil at Ashby Boys Grammar School, you see. So that's two of us who have a connection with Ashby. What about you, Lieutenant? Did you always live in India? Were you born there?
Oh, no, I'm an Ashby man. My father kept the draper's shop next to the Queen's Head in Market Street.
And are you buried here in St. Helens Churchyard?
Sadly, no. My family and my mother, the Shaws, have an impressive family monument in the churchyard here. I am commemorated on it, but sadly my body lies in the corner of some foreign field.
That is forever England.
What's that?
Oh, nothing, just a poem I heard once.
At that school of yours, I suppose.
No, long after school, during the war.
Well, you seem to have spent a long time at school, soldier. Me, I didn't get to go to no school. In fact, we had to pull down the grammar school to make a line of sight for our guns.
Well, the schoolboys must have been celebrating that day. What about you, Captain? You haven't said much.
Well, I was here in Ashby too, and my body lies in the corner of a foreign field.
No? Where was that then?
Well, let me see. I think it was the third field on the right on the way to Packington.
Packington? So you did fight in the Civil War. You're a Roundhead, aren't you? I thought you looked shifty.
Steady there, soldier. He's no Roundhead. He just said he was in Napoleon's army.
Napoleon? Never heard of him.
He's French. Can't you hear his French accent? Look, we're all brothers in arms. We've all suffered hardships. I remember the trenches all right. The mud, the rats, the blood and guts of our slaughtered comrades. Not to mention the noise of the guns and the shells going off all round us.
Oh, yeah, that rings true of me too. Sound of the guns, loudest noise I ever heard. And the plague, that saw off plenty of us as well. And then we were holed up in the castle, surrounded by Roundheads, running out of everything, food, ammunition, everything.
It was hard for us too. As well as the guns, we had the terrible heat to contend with. The flies and mosquitoes that ate us alive. Men were dropping down with all sorts of foul diseases.
What about you, Captain? What were you doing here in Ashby?
I fought hard too.
What? In Packington? Who were you fighting? The sheep?
No, of course not.
So what were you doing here?
I was a prisoner of war.
Prisoner, eh? In the castle, I suppose. That can't have been pleasant, though. Those dungeons were foul.
No, not in the castle. Your precious castle was a pile of stones when I was here.
What? Never.
I'm afraid it's true, soldier. The parliamentarians blew up the castle a couple of years after Hastings surrendered. I learnt about it in school.
Oh, you and your school. Lord Hastings, he'd never surrender.
But it's true, soldier. Everyone knows that. As for you, Captain, I've heard about you French prisoners of war. Tell us, where exactly did you live?
Well, I was billeted with an English family in Wood Street.
Locked up, eh?
No, not exactly. We officers we were treated with respect, as officers should be.
Respect. They did just what they liked. They strode around town at will, put on their own plays, even started their own Freemasons' lodge.
So come on, Captain, how did you come to be killed on the way to Packington?
I fought a duel, but I was defending my honour.
And did you win?
No, I lost.
He has suffered no hardship. He is no brother-in-arms. Come along, let's ignore him.
No, come on, lad. This is not the time for us to be falling out amongst ourselves. We are comrades in arms.
Maybe, but what puzzles me is this. Why are we all here? And why now?
I think I've worked it out. The year is now 2018. 100 years since the Great War ended. People have been holding all sorts of special events, commemorating the centenary and honouring the dead in all conflicts. They've been remembering us, conjuring us up in their minds.
Well, I wish they hadn't. I've had a very bad year's sleep and I need to be left in peace.
I think you may be about to get your wish, Captain. Listen. The old year is slipping away. When it's gone, we shall all be able to go back to our rest. Go back to your graves, brothers. You shan't be disturbed again. Of course, I have no grave, being blown up as I was. Good night, dear brothers. Sleep tight and rest in peace.
Especially for Remembrance. Like I say, that's next weekend, of course, but we're taking advantage of the chance that we can do it this week because we're doing our roll call next week, as always. So I do hope you'll be able to join us for that next Sunday night. Great little film. I came across that little film, when was it now? Earlier on in the year. And I showed Mrs. G. I said, I think this would be nice to show around Remembrance time. And I was pleased. I remembered. And so it was lovely. And that filmed locally at Ashby de la Zoche, thank you, and Pudding Bag Productions. They do lots of these little plays, and every now and again I'll go on their YouTube channel, which you can find on YouTube. There's lots of little dramatisations. We've featured one or two, but that one I thought is just ideal for tonight. Absolutely. Anyway, whilst just as that was finishing, Kevin Beasley's made it. Kevin, we don't know where we've been talking about you. He's just made it in, of course. Queen Bee said, I love these little films. And a lot of you like that, saying how powerful it was too. Russet said, a lovely film, really enjoyed it. Thanks for showing it, Paul. Dangerous Den, very good. And, Amelia's just coming, hello. And Ian Roberts and said Ashby War Memorial as well with seeing. Jim Kirby said brilliant, and Jan Kirby said so sad that humans keep fighting throughout the centuries. Absolutely. It just brings it into sharp focus, particularly this time of year. We'll always remember them. It's important that we remember them, isn't it? And let's hope that Well, if only we could all live in peace. What a better world we'd all be for it. Anyway, we're going to continue on with our with our remembrance theme tonight, because as I say, next Sunday it'll be the roll call all the way through. But before we do, and for the benefit of Kevin Beasley, who's only just come in, let's give him a chance for 6 of the best. One chance to go through 6 of the best one more time this evening. Here's your local knowledge. New buildings, Leicester Road and Butt Lane share what in common? They do share something, but what is it? Question 2. The former council offices in Argentsmead was officially opened in what year? I was there, I remember. Question 3. General knowledge. What couldn't you do on the lower deck of a double-decker bus that you could do upstairs? Why do I always start giggling when I go for that? Question 4. True or false? The 5 rings on the Olympic flag are interlocking. True? Or is it false? Or is it a load of old baloney? Question 5. Where am I? Oh, Mrs. You wouldn't want one of them up. Yeah, well, no, Mrs. No, they do not like it. They do not like it at all, sir. But where am I? Yeah. And the aniogram. Argentine's Benson Hotel. Now, giving you a bit of a clue here, a slow winding route gets you here, and a little clue for the village we're looking for, because we're looking for a pub in a village, and here's the clue for the village. Don't get caught up here. So there you go. So we're not in Hinckley. We are looking for a country pub, yes. In a village, yes. But which village, which pub? The answer is all there in the aniogram. So there we go. Right, so that is your 6 of the best. And meanwhile, we get ready for our next feature this year. I'm trying to keep things moving a bit because I want to try and get the nosy in and stuff as well. So our next one, once again, we're looking at remembrance and stories of. And to remember those brave souls that went off in all wars. But this one particularly, I think, is very poignant for us around here, being part of the Leicestershires, the Tigers. And this is a super little, I think it's 15 minutes long, little film called Comrades in Arms. Oh, no, it's not. I've playing the wrong one, Paul. You pressed the wrong button. You should be playing the one underneath it. Sorry, it's called Tigers. I know. Good job it's live, isn't it? It's called Tigers at the Somme.
My name is Richard Lane. I'm the regimental historian for the Leicestershire Regiment, and I specialise in studying the First World War movements of the regiment. We're here today at the Thiepval Memorial on the Somme, which commemorates 73,500 men who were totally lost. They were never found. No trace of them was ever found. Included on the memorial are about 900 members of the Leicestershire Regiment who died in various battles, but mainly at Bezentin-le-Petit. A lot of these guys have been together since 1914 when they formed up in Leicester. They'd have great friendships between themselves and also the junior officers who led them. For a fairly small county regiment, I mean, we were very heavily involved. We were engaged in some of the major battles. The 110th Leicestershire Brigade were involved in 2 major battles, the first one being Bezentin Ridge and the second one at Guidacourt at the end of September. I've been coming over here for many, many years, tracing the footsteps, if you like, of the regiment, following basically the various battles and conflicts the Leicestershire Regiment was involved in during the Battle of the Somme, which started on July the 1st, 1916. Well, Burle was the first village that 2 battalions came to in July 1915. And you're talking about 1,500, 1,600 men in the village, you know, it's a lot of people. And they had to be supplied, fed, watered, everything else, which was quite a big logistical problem. I mean, all these boys were forming up for the Battle of the Somme the following July. They all knew what was coming, but they didn't know when it was coming, and they were training all over the place. You know, companies would go off for special training, machine gun training, all sorts of things, all over the place, behind the lines, obviously. But they still had to hold the front line, which they do by rotation with companies and battalions, you know, probably 400 or 500 men in the front line. And as you'll see here, quite a few guys got killed. There's 37 in this cemetery, either killed by sniper fire, which the Germans were very good at, or by spasmodic shell fire. And the water table is very high round here, and most of the time they were probably standing in easily a foot, probably 2 foot of water in the winter of 15, which was pretty awful and very, very cold apparently. And they got trench foot. A lot of people went ill. The soldiers were drinking out of foul water, got dysentery and all sorts of things, and there was quite a steady stream of, you know, medical casualties being treated. And so it went on, and they became, you know, an extremely highly regarded brigade. And they stayed here for some considerable time, and they obviously got to know the locals very well. The residents of Burl looked after them very, very well. They knew why they were here. I mean, they were fighting for France, weren't they, basically? Well, I have an appointment in about 5 minutes with the mayor, and he wants to show me the things in the museum, so I'm going to have to leave you for a bit. Well, Dick Reed was one of the original soldiers who joined the 110th Brigade in Leicester in 1914, along with lots of his friends, all Leicester people. Mr. Mayor, why are you so keen to keep the relationship going with the Reed family and the Leicestershire Regiment?
The family of Berlebois
Yep.
remembers the presence of regiment of Leicester.
What is the importance of having the Dick Reed Square here to the people of Burl?
It's very important for the memory.
Yeah.
We are very proud because the Leicester regiment and his soldiers, it's for the liberty.
Yeah.
It's the memory.
That's right, yes.
It's for the memory.
I think it's marvellous, after 100 odd years, we've kept this relationship going with Burl.
So we leave this pleasant little village of Burl-au-Bois, 3 kilometres from the front line trenches and about 1/4 kilometre from the German front line at Monchy-le-Preux. And we take with us the memory of that terrible winter of 1915-16, when brave men and callow youth, who were men before their time, were tested to the limits of their endurance. In the terrible conditions of knee-deep mud and waterlogged trenches, with the trenches falling in left, right and centre, rations scarce, sleep impossible. When the relief battalion took over at dusk, the rain had ceased, and we officers and men alike trudged warily down the communication trench as best we could, over the top where they had collapsed, till we reached the Burl-Monchy road. We sat by the wayside in all the mud and slime to rub whale grease into our dead white feet, painful and wrinkled like a walnut shell, with very little feeling. Great-hearted men, some who were yet boys, wept bitter tears at the frustration and futility of it all. We were left alone the next day, to sleep, rest and dry out. So we paraded and left the memories behind us as the long march began.
Well, we're now standing on the edge of Mametswood, looking across the road to the extensive size of Bezentin-le-Petit Wood. On the 14th of July 1916, the Leicestershire Regiment, 4 battalions of them, the 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th battalions, were ordered to attack and hold and keep Bezentin Wood and the village. The 2 leading battalions formed up here in extended line, remembering they've got a load of kit on, rifles, grenades, bayonets, loads of ammunition, and they started to advance, dead on time at 3:20. They hit the wood straight into the Germans, but the Germans, as usual, responded very heavily. And what happened then was a hell of a fight, hand-to-hand fighting, bayonet fighting, grenade fighting. The result was that one battalion lost pretty well every single officer, the 8th Battalion, but they got into the wood and started to clear the trenches. But the Germans, being the Germans, they were well dug in and fought like tigers. They really did. It was a hell of a battle, and the greatest battle the Leicesters ever fought, in actual fact. And a company sergeant major called Robert Hancock gathered together the remnants of the 4 battalions and formed a defensive line at the north of the wood and waiting for the Germans to attack, but instead he decided to attack them. The Leicesters drove the Germans right back. Company sergeant major Hancock was very badly wounded, but for this he was awarded the Military Cross, which was very unusual for a company sergeant major. He was 38 years old. When they were leading out of Mametz Wood further down the road, the Prince of Wales was standing there, patting the boys on the back, good luck and all this sort of thing. And the story is told that when the attack went in, he started to follow, because he wanted to follow the boys into the attack, and he had to be physically restrained from doing so. And I told this story to Prince Charles when he opened the museum a few years ago, showing him where it happened and photographs. And Prince Charles turned around and said, "That man would never surprise me." There'll be an awful lot of very close hand-to-hand fighting with bayonets and Mills bombs, because our boys would be stumbling across Germans in trenches and they'd either lob a Mills bomb in, bayonet them, shoot them at point-blank range. It would be a fairly awful, bloody affair. Well, the total casualties for the battle were 1,947 men, either killed or wounded. There's 880 of our boys on the Thiepval Memorial. The majority of them are still in here. They just couldn't, they might have been blasted to smithereens by shell fire or just buried by German artillery. But there's certainly a lot still left in here, which is rather a sobering thought, I find, quite frankly, when you walk through here. Very sad. And you've got to remember, a lot of these guys were sort of 18, 19, 20-year-old, the boys, a lot of them. The vast majority be under 22. Hundreds and hundreds of them. I find it a very sad and sobering thought, actually. There's so many of our boys still here.
July 14th. Brigade attacked this morning at 3:25 a.m. and took Bezentin Wood, Bezentin Le Petit and Bezentin Le Grand. 146 men of my company killed, wounded and missing. 582 of the battalion. Every officer of my company killed. I lost most of my friends this day. Went up to the new front with rations, and the most ghastly sight met our eyes. Dead men every few yards, and the whole place smells stale with the slaughter which has been going on for the past 14 days. The smell of the dead and lacrimatory gas. The place is a very hell, with the whistling and crashing of shells, bursting shrapnel, and the rattle of machine guns. The woods we had taken had not yet been cleared, and there were pockets of Germans with machine guns still holding out and doing some damage. A sergeant sinks to the ground beside me with a bullet wound neatly drilled through his shoulder. Lucky man. It's not likely to prove fatal. It's too clean, and it means a few months in Blighty for him. July 16th. Battalion came out of the line and bivouacked at Mametz. I had to call the roll of the company, and this was a heartbreaking business. The answer to most of the names was killed. All men who were not definitely known to have been killed were posted as missing. For this, we had to rely on the knowledge of the few survivors, of course.
On the 25th of September 1916, 4 battalions of the Leicestershire Regiment attacked the village of Guidecourt to our front. The village was very heavily defended and they ran into very heavy machine gun fire as soon as they came over the ridge behind me. Well, this was the last main Somme engagement of the 110th Leicester Brigade, and when they were told they were going to have to do another attack after Bezentin Ridge, there was a lot of resentment because they'd taken such heavy casualties, you know, a couple of months before. The German defences consisted of 3 trench lines running from left to right in front of the village. They'd be deep, probably 7 to 8 feet deep, with bunkers in them, machine guns, etc., etc. One of the Leicester battalions got into the first trench system and gave the Germans some hard fighting with grenades and bayonets, etc., and held it. And the Germans drew back. But then, as usual, the Germans brought up reinforcements and we were stuck. After about 20 minutes, a tank came rumbling down this road, which is called Watling Street, and ran straight into the German front line, firing down the trench line with machine guns and 6-pounder guns, which mincemeated the Germans, and then they went on into the village and did the same there. However, the Germans have got considerable reserves in the village. By this time, the Leicesters were taking very, very heavy casualties, you know, 400 to 500 men down, and it was becoming very disruptive fighting, and they held and stopped to re-establish themselves. The battle actually started, which is most strange, at 12:25 p.m, which is most unusual, in broad daylight. I mean, there was sitting ducks coming over this ridge for heavy machine gun fire. They battled on and eventually got into the village where there was a lot of close quarter fighting with bayonets and Mills bombs, which is the favourite weapon for clearing houses. And then they were reorganised and held back, and another regiment came in and took over from the Leicester battalions. It was a great success. They'd done exceptionally well in the Somme battles. Another laurel to the Leicesters, basically. Once again, at a hell of a cost. The casualties are about 600, about 400 killed. We're now standing in Serre number 2 cemetery, just outside the village of Serre. There are just over 7,000 graves in this cemetery, and the significance is it's a very similar figure of casualties to the Leicestershire Regiment, just over 7,000 in the whole of the First World War. Well, it makes you realise, you know, the terrible suffering, really, and the absolutely incredible casualties. When you consider all the young men who came from Leicester, aged from 17 to 30, who volunteered in 1914, and thousands of them never came back, and thousands came back badly wounded, there'd hardly be a family in the whole of the country in the First World War which wasn't in some way affected, whether it's fathers, brothers, uncles, killed, wounded. The Leicesters had something like 24,000 casualties, people wounded, but there are no real records whether they lost a leg, an arm, or, you know, whatever, but they're probably crippled for life. But I do believe now that there's been such a surge of interest over the last few years, which is very good, because people should realise the sacrifice these people made. I mean, they're all young men, you know, the bags of 17-year-olds who never should have been here. You know, they were mere boys. They were not supposed to come on foreign service till they were 19, but, you know, they lied about their age, encouraged by the recruiting sergeants to get in. But that's how it was, basically. Although it was one of the smaller regiments in the country, I mean, you know, they did the job and they did it very, very well, quite frankly. It's remembering these guys, and I think they should never, ever be forgotten for the sacrifice they made.
As I turn the pages of memory at the going down of the sun, and in the dark watches of the night, I remember them, my comrades of long ago. In peace be vigilant, for peace needs no defence, only a defender. The noise of the battle has long since faded and died away. The great guns that once spewed their hate o'er the Flanders plains are silent, and only remembered by we few, we pitiful few. All that remains of the great army, pride of our race, the remnants of a lost generation. too honest to steal, too proud to beg. Charity we scorn, pity we dread. The people pray for God, and the soldiers in time of war, both are forgotten when the war is over. But we who are left remember.
Really food for thought, isn't it, really, when you see films like that. I don't think we can ever even begin to comprehend the horrors what that generation went through. I really don't, and I think that's why it's so important that we at least take this time every year to remember them. Absolutely. Anyway, right. Looking ahead and looking into the chat box, while that was going on, I was on about the HDPP wreath which we will be laying at the Hinckley Town Memorial on Sunday, and I'm very keen for someone to do it on behalf of the group. Now, it's been said, well, Paul, you ought to do it, or you and Sue ought to do it. Yeah, that's nice. But we did our bit in May for the 100 years of the memorial itself, and I've always been the sort that likes to give other people a chance. And already in the chat room, a few little bits have been suggested. Jan's quite happy to do it on our behalf if there's nobody else. Now, I've just literally found out that Dangerous Den could be interested. So what we'll do, guys, I'll message you afterwards and we'll sort it out. But between us, we can sort something out. And talking of the wreath, I've actually got it here. Just a minute, bring it in. I brought it into the studio this evening. There's the wreath. Also, we've got to do is put the appropriate piece in the middle and everything. So we've got the wreath. We just now want a member of HDPP to lay on behalf of all of Hinckley District, past and present. Which I think we've certainly got some volunteers now, which is good. I mean, yes, I always thought, well, I could always go and do it, but I like people to have a go, particularly because it's a very moving thing. As I say, I did it for the group in May. It was an honour and a privilege. And but I just want somebody else, if they would like to do it, this is the chance. Anyway, now, let's just say, I'm trying to keep an eye on in the chat room. You see lots of things going on there. I'm going to go very, very quickly for the last time through our 6 of the best, and then we're off for a nosy. And here we go, very, very quickly with 6 of the best. Question 1, new buildings, Leicester Road and Butt Lane share what in common? Question 2. The former council offices in Argent's Mead was officially opened in what year? Lovely. Ooh. Keep the likes coming, please. Question 3. What couldn't you do on the lower deck of a double-decker bus you could do upstairs? Ha ha! No, keep it clean, please. The 5 rings on the Olympic flag are interlocking. Is that true or is it false? And where am I? Here you are, Mushroom Man. Where am I? I said I'd show it again. Yeah, that's where am I? I don't know. And Anna can't get the anagram. Let's look at the anagram. Argentine's Benson Hotel. Now, let me give you the clues again. A slow winding route can get you here, right? And remember, we're looking for a pub in a village somewhere. So a slow winding route gets you here, or to get the name of the village in question, you don't get caught up here. Now, the subtle clues, they really are. They really, really are subtle clues. But once you get the pub, you'll get the village, or once you get the village, you'll get the pub. It's as simple as that. A slow, and I mean slow, winding route will get you here, David Blower. I'm giving you a wink there. Or, to get the village, you don't want to get caught up here. Don't get caught up here, yeah. Now then, one or the other will get you where we're trying to find tonight. I don't know if nobody's said, I haven't seen anybody saying in the chat room tonight that they've got it yet. But it's not Hinckley, it's a village pub. So we want the pub and the village name. So once you get one or the other, you'll So if you get the pub, you'll get the village and vice versa. Simple as that, okay. So maybe that's helped, but a slow winding route, it gets you there. And like I say, don't get caught up here. Yeah, it'll all make sense. It'll make sense, won't it, Mrs. G? She is nodding. She's just nodding. So there we go. Now, meanwhile, just before we go for our nosy, Amelia, Amelia's. She said, "Do you remember coming to Richmond last year? I used to love that, and I miss it now because I'm in high school." Well, actually, Amelia, I mean that's a lovely name anyway because it was my grandma's name. God bless her. And funnily enough, we're going to be at Richmond. I think it's a week after next, actually. And of course, I'm now talking to another fresh year of pupils, of which you were once one. But we love going to Richmond, and indeed I know Mushroom Man in the same breath loves HDPP to visit. And I love going down there because I think the kids are brilliant. They really, really are. But we'll be doing the same show, so you're not actually missing anything other than seeing Sue and I. Now, talking of which, in a couple of weeks' time, a week of Friday indeed, we will be in Castle Street. We will be at the Christmas lights switch on. We want your cakes. Please, can you bake us a cake? We need cakes baking, please. But remember, if you bake a cake, you must put the ingredients on. We have to do that. And then we can put it on our stall to sell. Let us know when you've baked the cake. We'll even come and collect it. One of our volunteers, Jill, said, I'll go and collect the cakes. She'll take them round to Auntie Patricia. And Auntie Patricia is going to look after them until the big night indeed. So if you could bake a cake, that'd be brilliant. Equally so, come into town on Friday the 18th of November and find HDPP. We'd love to see you. It's great when people come and say hello. It really, really is. So there we go. Okay then. And Amelia's just gone on to say, I miss it loads. There's 3 of us from Richmond on stream. Hello, Richmond X's. Bless you all. Hope you're getting on okay in your new school. Yeah, I know. There we go. Oh, and Dennis, Dangerous Den says, Mad Maggie's got the ingredients already. Hello, Jelly Nook. Jelly Nook. I love it. Hello. Right, anyway, well, they're all at high school now, so there we go. Okay, listen, I've rabbited long enough. When we come back, because we're going to now have our nosy with Steve, when we come back, we'll have the answer to all the questions we posed tonight and tidy up a few odds and ends before we sign off for tonight. Remember, we're going to be here every Sunday night now, period. As I say, so you'll always know how to find us every Sunday night, but we will be on Saturday night just for about 15 minutes, Saturday night to do the prize draw on Saturday night. That's just to remind you on that. Right, with any further ado, oh my word, look, it's that time again. Let's go for a nosy, shall we, with our Steve.
Right then, so I didn't tell you, did I? Last weekend, went out for a beer. I haven't been out for a while with my mates. What are you laughing at? Anyway, we sat here in the pub and the door opens, flies open, it's the village idiot. Walks in, he's on some tenner. He goes, you lot over there, you're all a bunch of idiots. And you lot over there, you're no better, you're all a bunch of arseholes. Anyway, I laughed my head off, I did. I thought it was so funny.
Naughty
mate's
Steve.
Not like me, ain't got a sense of humour. Anyway, when he walks out, my mate says, if he comes in here next weekend and does that, I'm going to have him. Anyway, we went out Friday night and I thought, please let him come in, I want to see what happens. Anyway, door flies open, village idiot. You lot, you're all a bunch of idiots, and you lot, you're all a bunch of arseholes. My mate gets up, he says, oi, I'm an idiot. This bloke goes, well, get over there then, you silly arsehole. Hello, hey up and hey diddling. My name is Steve. Your name is?
Delighted Dave.
You heard,
hat.
You heard it here first. Well, yeah, he's unrecognisable without that hat, isn't he? You know, what you doing? Here you are. There you are, you can have that.
Okay.
No, my hair, not with my hair like that, you're not. Anyway, as you can see, we are in the woods. But what woods are we in? And I tell you what, before I tell you where it is, what a beautiful location this is, yet again, David.
Oh, fantastic.
This is a nosy today that is totally 100% unplanned, isn't it?
Yep.
Because we've actually just gone and done a nosy, started making a video, but we failed because what we went to look at there's now a gate there and you can't get in. Very disappointed. But this is Grendon Woods in North Warwickshire. Yes, before you say anything, that's near Baddesley Ends, ain't it, Steve? We've done 2 videos there the last few weeks. Now we're on a 3rd. It's a hat trick. What's going on? Well, we can't get enough of this area at the minute, can we, David? Now, if you remember, in last week's video at Baddesley Colliery Railway, I always struggled to get that one out, we met a chap called Nick. He weren't on the video, but we met him before we filmed. You know, telling us, he was talking to the old farmer who's full of info, as it seems. He was telling him about this brickyard that's in this wood somewhere. Now then, we found it. There's a pile of bricks. That's not the brickyard, but we think that is from the brickyard. I can't remember the name of it. I think the bloke who owned it, his name might have been Slack. But I'm saying all this, we still don't know if it's a brickyard or not, do we, Dave?
No, we followed the black dot on a map.
Yeah.
And we're not even sure this is the black dot, but what we have found is fascinating.
Yeah, so we're kind of walking about in here blind because, as you can see, it's quite dense woodland. There are trails everywhere. Anyway, let's go and show you what we've found so far. We might stumble upon other things. We have found what looks like where they were extracting clay from, if it is a brickyard. Anyway, let's go and show you these interesting bits and bobs of it there. You heard it here first. Right then, so before we go sticking his beaks in, I just want to show you this Ordnance Survey map dated 1887, courtesy of the National Library of Scotland. And what you're looking at is Grendon Wood in the centre. Now to the left you've got the village of Baddesley Ends, and to the immediate south you've got where it says tunnel, if you've got your 2020 vision goggles on anyway. Tunnel disused. That is indeed the tramway tunnel that we went in last week's video. Right, so I've zoomed in a little bit more on the tunnel area, and it's alright, in case you're worried, we're not going back in the tunnel again this week. I just want to show you this, because as you can see where it says tunnel, to the immediate north in the woodland, it says old shafts. Now, I didn't really realise it at the time, but there's actually numerous old shafts in Grendon Wood. Now, it's to the north that we're going to be exploring today in the woodland. Okay, so what you didn't see today was, me and Dave, as I've already mentioned, went for a failed nosy. And this is what we're clinging on to today, because what you're looking at is, again, an 1887 Ordnance Survey map. And in the centre of the screen, you can see that little black square next to a trail. Now, we weren't sure if this was the remains of an old brickyard. Now, throughout this video, you're going to hear me banging on about brickyards. For me now, this isn't a brickyard. The brickyard that we were initially told about may be at the village of Dordon, which is a stone's throw away from here. I'm not sure. So we went searching for this today. I'm pretty sure we found it as well, amongst other things. Now, to the left of it, you can see what looks like a bit of a pool or something, like an egg shape with a rectangular shape round it. So, not sure what that was, to be honest. But this is what we went looking for, and then we found other stuff. Right, so bear with me here, because what you're looking at is an Ordnance Survey map dated 1920 something of this woodland in Grendon. Now, as you can see, it says old shafts. Now, if you look at the letter G carefully, you can just about make out a couple of buildings there as well. I'm convinced that's what we found today. So for me, this is actually an old colliery site. That's what we're thinking anyway. Now, I've been online for the best part of 2 hours this afternoon. I can't find anything about this site, and I really hope there's going to be somebody that watches this video that can actually tell us a lot more about this. But a little bit later in the video, I'll talk to you a little bit about the washing of coal as well, because originally we thought that's what this site may be also, but I don't think it was. Anyway, without any further ado, let's go for a nosy. Right, so where I've just done the intro, down there, it's hard to make out on camera, but this woodland, it's on a steep gradient. It's actually going downhill quite steep. And then as we walk uphill, you come across this. See them brick stanchions there? Now this indeed looks like to me that there could have been some sort of pulley system here going up there. So we ain't been up there yet, but so what we're going to have to do is go and see what's up there. But let me give you a closer look at these. Fascinating stuff. Right then, so as you've just seen from that footage, you know, these brick stanchions, they carry on all the way up this hill. And just there, you know, this isn't natural to me. This looks like it's been made by man. It's moved earth, put there for either a purpose, or heaped there from a clay extraction point in the woods somewhere. But you know, a lot of these trees, they're not that old. Well, they're probably older than me, but they're not that old. So this area must have been quite clear at some stage. But the brickwork that we're looking at, that we've looked at, it's clearly quite old, very old. But it's bizarre, you know, what an unexpected nosy. And that's why we do what we do. We love it. So there is more to look at in terms of brickwork. I'm going to show you shortly. But what me and Dave have stood on at the minute, it's a man-made embankment, you know, surrounded by trees. You know, maybe a lot of people walk the dogs round here and what have you, and they don't realise that, you know, this isn't natural, folks. It's clearly not. I mean, it's a good drop-off over that side, and here you can clearly see a good drop-off. So was this the access road in? Now we're questioning at the minute, is there a tramway? Now I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get some information up when I get home whilst I'm editing this video, because we know nothing about this, do we, Dave?
No, nothing at all.
You know, we were kind of on a wild goose chase, really. We were told there was some bits of brickwork in this woodland, and because we've had a failed nosy, here we are. So we're not really sure at the minute what to make of any of it. Right, so again, as Dave's just said, more guesswork here. As you can see, we've got a bit of a structure. Haven't got a Scooby-Doo what that is at all. I mean, this day and age, it's surrounded by woodland. So, you know, what is that? Now, it's very interesting here because last weekend when we were talking to Nick, where his house is, it's next to a lane known as Waste Lane. And he said, up Waste Lane somewhere was a coal washing facility. So, does it get its name Waste Lane from the waste coal? So, indeed, is that what we've found here? And it's not a brickyard. I haven't got a clue. I mean, what, you know, I mean, that is concrete there, so absolutely bizarre. Answers on a postcard. Right then, so this is a 1940s Ordnance Survey map. And as you can see there in the centre of the screen, it says Waste Hill. Now, between Waste Hill and where it says Woodlands Farm, there's a bit of a track there. That is the track we walked up today. And then somewhere on the left of that track is another track that goes into Grendon Wood. Is to the immediate west of where it says Waste Hill. Now, it's quite interesting because when we had the conversation with Nick a week ago, he was saying that he was told that coal used to be washed in this area. And I didn't know at the time that they used to wash coal. Well, they did used to wash it because depending on its quality, coal needed to be washed with water and chemicals to remove sulphur and impurities before it could be burned at a power plant, you know, a power station or something, which I didn't know about. So very, very interesting. So did they do that up there? Quite possibly, because it's called Waste Hill. Now, were they taking waste coal, you know, what they used to call the slag, etc., to this point? I don't know. Right, so moving a little south on this Ordnance Survey map of the 1940s, you've got a bit of a track, a lane at the north of this map. Now, this day and age, that is called Folly Lane, but back then, you could just about make out WAS. That's because that was known as Waste Lane as well. Now, as you can see, you've got a number of drains here. Now, when we were talking to Nick last weekend, he was telling us that, you know, when they used to wash the coal in that area, they had to install a number of culverts. And as you can see, where it says the osier bed or osier bed, I'm going to say osier bed. I think an osier is a collection of willow trees, I'm not sure. That is a brook there. And these culverts where it says drain actually drained into that brook. Do you know what? I should have gone and had a nosy and put my wellies on, shouldn't I? But I didn't have time to do that. Now, the only argument I've got against this culvert system is the fact that if they were washing the coal with chemicals to remove sulphur, would they have wanted it going into the natural water system? But with a filter in it, that I really don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I thought it were very interesting. Anyway, let's press on with the nosiness. Right, so I love it when I'm over there and Dave's over here and he says, Steve, get your fat ass over here because I've just found something else. David, what have we found?
Well, Again, I'm not quite sure, but it's old. Look at that tree growing out through it.
Let's go and investigate, me lad.
Good after you, Steve. This is crazy.
It is really. Here we go again. Sticking his beaks in. Right, bloody hell, what we got here? So, this isn't that old, Dave. Oh, Christ's sake. Well, it's concrete, isn't it? Oh, now, what we got here? I don't think this is a brickyard now. I think this is to do with coal mining. I mean, like I say, we haven't got any proof, Dave, about this coal washing place. I mean, we're just going on what we've been told, aren't we? But I mean, this is concrete. I mean, this isn't that old in the grand scheme of things. No. So again, I'm not going to know until I find it on maps. Do you know what this looks like to me? It looks like a sewage tank, but I don't think it is. I've come across old sewage tanks like this before at old sewage works when I was younger. Yeah. So, I think this is what Nick was on about, you know.
There's coal washing facility.
I think so, yeah. I mean, we've got something else here, look.
Yeah, at the top there.
It's just stunning how it's all... Look at that. Crazy. Just all left here. I mean, look at this here, folks. So something else is sat on here. I mean, this looks like there'd been some sort of engine on top of this. I mean, I might be wrong. And again, so, yes, we've seen this earlier, right. Oh, this is fascinating. Really is fascinating. Just look at that. So, I mean, here, Dave, it looks like some sort of valve, don't it? It's bizarre. I mean, is that an old rail of some sort? No, it's too small, isn't it? All this in the middle of the woods. I don't know, bizarre. I'm hoping that someone's going to watch this and they'll know exactly what all this is. I mean, just look at that. That extends, there's something under here, isn't there?
That goes then where them chimney things are.
Okay. So what do you reckon then, so far? I mean, like I say, it's totally through us, isn't it, Dave?
Totally.
We ain't got a clue. I mean, I'll tell you what there is down here. Now, I don't know if this is anything to do with this facility that we're looking at, or the local teenagers have built this. But right next to it, there's more concrete stanchions, so it's just absolutely bizarre. Look at this. So we've got this interesting hole in the ground here with quite a bit of litter in it. Was there some sort of structure in there once? I don't know. Or have local kids dug this out over time? I don't know. Because when you lift the camera up, you can see concrete stanchion there and a concrete stanchion here with very poorly drawn male genitalia on it. At least I think that's what it is. Why do they do it? I don't know. But is that a tree stump or is that another one? No, so you've got another one here. So, what they've done, they're not concrete, they're rendered. Do you know why? Because you've got brickwork beneath the render, look. Can you see that? So, they are quite old. I mean, you've got one here. This is just, I've never come across anything like this in the woods. What is this place? One there. You've got one here as well. Mad. Just madness. So when we first arrived in this woodland at Grendon, that's the first thing we found after walking about in here for half an hour. Stumbled upon it by accident, and you can tell straight away with structures when you're in a place like this because they're covered in ivy and God knows what. Now, I'm not certain, that does look a bit like an old chimney, don't it? Now, whether this area up here is the brickyard, I don't know. I haven't got a Scooby-Doo, to be honest. It's baffling both on us, isn't it? Yeah, I'll do.
This looks like a play place.
Was it?
Oh, there's no hole, but look.
Right, so on my left is what I've just been saying, might be a chimney, but don't slap me arse for it if it's not, it just looks like one. What we've got here looks like a trail, quite an old trail going through here, and Dave's just got my attention. he said, look at that. That looks like a stone set for a tramway. Now, yeah, I'll get to that in a second, Dave. To me, it looks like dressed stone, and for me, I mean, when you look at that, in fact, you can't see it very well on camera, that looks like a dip. Now, we went up Derbyshire before the summer, me, Dave and Rare Rob, and we were talking to a chap, and he'd got a load of these in his garden. Long story short, world famous tramway was near his house. And these dips were made by the constant clack, 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 clacking of horses dragging wagons over the top of them. It does look like a stone set, but there isn't, no, there's not a hole in it. No, that's not it there. It'd be here somewhere, so that is interesting, Dave.
Yeah.
I can see your theory with that. I mean, this brickwork looks old enough to justify having a tramway near it, but I mean, again, I don't know. So over my left shoulder, I've got what I think might be a chimney, but then you've got this other brick stanchion here. So, bizarre. Is there any writing on this brick? No, it's unmarked. So, again, extensive earthworks in here. You know, one there. And then you've got another base for maybe a building here, so... Yeah, I'm really hoping there's going to be someone who watches my videos and who knows this area well. So again, building been on there, so... Yeah, and one here that looks like a beaver's been at it, look. That's really well weathered, isn't it? Bizarre, folks. Answers on a postcard. Right then, well, unfortunately, that concludes today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I have, and I know this chap has.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Weren't expecting that at all, Dave.
No.
And I'm hoping...
These are the best noses.
They are the best noses, these are, the unexpected ones. And I'm hoping that when I get home, he's seen something else, look, he always does that. I'm hoping when I get home, we're actually going to know a lot more about what we've been looking at. So this outro might be no good in that respect, but we'll keep it anyway. Anything else you want to add, David?
No, because I started my new job, I want to say hello to Ryan and a big thank you for following Steve right from day one.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he followed you right from day one.
Oh, he'll get an imaginary tenner for that,
yeah,
then, won't
and he keeps telling me it's nice to work with someone that's famous off YouTube, but we're not famous, we're just normal people.
Yeah, we just like going sticking his beaks in, but, you know...
Thanks, Ryan.
The channel's we've just got to 1,200 subscribers, and every time I say that, I lose a few. I do, but yeah, whatever. But I just want to thank each and every one of you for watching the videos. On average, I get between 400 and 500 views after a few weeks on my videos, so really appreciate it. When I started this madness, I never thought that people would be that interested, to be honest, but you are. So, thank you very much. You're the reason I met these videos. I mean, I would go out and explore these places anyway, even if I weren't making videos, but it's a nice bonus that I'm able to do that for the lot of you. Anyway, take care of yourselves. Please like, subscribe and share. And I'll see you at the next one. Bye. Say goodbye, David.
Goodbye, David.
Goodbye, David. Ciao.
Cool, you fripped me at the end there, Steve. My word. The thunder and lightning. There we we're still getting likes, which is nice. Like and subscribe. Like I said, when you subscribe, it means you get a notification that we've just gone live. So that's the idea of subscribing. It's free. So you're not going to buy out. I know you lot. Anyway, people enjoying that. Look at that. There's plenty of good comments for Steve in that one. Steve was he's been a little bit unwell with food poisoning apparently, but he's been in the Steve. I must be honest. I didn't see you come in the chat room earlier, but there again, I have to watch about 7 different screens here. So anyway, lots of people enjoying that anyway. And also, while that was going on, I was chatting with a couple of Richmond School fans. I'll call them fans because they're really, really good. Amelia and co. And they were saying, remember the word spigot, because we really got them laughing when I was telling them about the spigot emplacement in Hollycroft Park. And they was all determined that they were all going to go Hollycroft Park to find the spigot. And as you can see, that explains why we're talking spigots. Yeah, and we'll be doing that in a week after next, actually, with our next new lot. Anyway, great. Thanks, Steve, for that wonderful, absolutely wonderful little noser. And of course, next Sunday we won't be doing a nosy because we're doing the roll call next Sunday, and I'm sure you'll agree that's quite correct. So, you know, let's say just next week, that is. But then he'll be back the following week, so we've got lots of things to get on with. Right, how are you doing with the old quiz tonight? Now, Ray apparently has got the anagram. Well done, Ray. I think the clues were quite subtle myself, and I don't think anybody else has got the anagram yet. So with no further ado, let's go through the answers of tonight's 6 of the best. Here we go. So get ready to put your answer in for question number 1. Question 1, our local knowledge. New buildings, Leicester Road, Butt Lane. What do they share in common? Leicester Road, Butt Lane, new buildings, what do they share in common? Now then, have a think. Who wants to put the answer in first? Let's just say, I like to test you, see if you really do know these. I'll give it a moment. See if anybody can answer that question that's on the screen now. I think it's a good one, actually. Meanwhile, Amelia said, I met a Richmond kid also going to the Spigot, so it was pretty popular. Yeah, there were people going in and out to find the Spigot in Hollycroft Park. Brilliant. Anyway, no one's put the answer up so far. So the answer to question number 1, new buildings, Leicester Road, Butt Lane share what in common? Well, though it was all of those. Yeah, thank you, Maureen, just in time. Grammar schools, and also followed them by Dennis Perkins. That's right, grammar school sites. There was a grammar school in New Buildings, now where Stockwell's is today. Of course, Leicester Road, it was what was Mount Grace, now Hinckley Fields, and of course in its and then at the top end of Butt Lane. So there we go. Lovely. So that was question 1. Question number 2. Can you give me the date for when the former council offices in Argentsmead was officially opened? What year was it? Anybody wanted to have a go at the year? See if you get it right. Was it 1966? Was it 1968 or was it 1969? One of them is the correct answer. Jan Kirby comes in first. 1968, you are correct, Jan. We were looking for the answer. That's it. Well done, Maureen, as well. 1968, when they opened the former council offices in Argentsmead. General knowledge. Now keep this clean. What couldn't you do on the lower deck of a double-decker bus that you could do upstairs? Come on then. I know you should know that. I mean, I've been laughing out because it just... Right. And Maureen's got it right. She says, smoke. Yeah, smoke. And Jan says, smoke, smoke, smoke. Yeah, well done, well done. Yes, you couldn't smoke downstairs on the lower decks. You had to go upstairs, you see. What else did you think we were talking about, my word? True or false? The 5 rings on the Olympic flag are interlocking. Or are they not? Is that true? Or is it false? Let's see who comes in first with this one. And let's just say, I'm just waiting for a moment because I've got the chat looking at see. Yeah, true, says Jan. Jan's on the ball tonight. Yes, true, they are. Yes, it's true. They are interlocking rings. Absolutely true. Amelia, true. Yeah, Dennis Perkins. Yes, true. On to question 5. Where am I? Oh, now then, has that stopped their little gallop? Or is somebody going to tell me, where am I? Yes, I'm somewhere in Hinckley, but where in Hinckley am I tonight? Oh, Maureen, yes! Water Tower Hinckley, Jane Brown said, that was Tim's fault. Stand up. I've seen something that was going on there. And Jan Kirby comes in, Water Tower. Exactly, yes, Hinckley Water Tower. I'm right at the very top. And if you don't believe me, here we are. Here's the view. There you are. You see, I'd zoomed right in at the top, at the posh bit at the top. Okay, that's where we were. And finally, the Haniogram. Argentine's Benson Hotel. The clue I gave you was a slow winding route that gets you here. Or don't get caught up here. Let's see. No, it's not Barwell Water Tower. Not Barwell Water Tower, David. Maureen's in with the answer. Well done, Maureen. It's the Globe in Snareston. Globe in Snareston. A slow winding route. I was referring to the canal. And don't get caught here. I was on about Snareston. You see what I mean? Oh, come on. I can't make them no easier than that. So there we go. Let's have your scores then, please, ladies and gentlemen. And we'll just get the screen back up. Let's see how we're doing for the score. So I'll put the chat room on now. You can see what people have got. So let's hear. So Alan Crop said 3 for Marie, 2 for me. Okay, 3 for you, 2 for me. That's good. Maureen Harris has got 6. Well done. Hang on. Well done. Well done. You got 6. You've done well tonight. All the same. Daniel Coburn says 3 for me. Okay, well done. Jan Kirby 5. Jan, I'm impressed tonight. Amelia said just 2 tonight. Well done, Amelia. It's having a go that we have fun with. Jeff Wallace, 3 for us. Dennis Perkins, 4, but not the aniogram. Kevin Beasley, 3 for me. Russet said 1 again. And Paul Glover, he also got the 6 out of 6. Well done. This is what Sunday nights has been made for. We've found our niche market, haven't we? Mushroom Man says, I've got 3. Yes, well done. It's having a go. We wouldn't, to be totally fair to you, our more younger viewers, we wouldn't expect you to get some of these because we're old fuddy-duddies. Yeah, we know these old things. But you'll be able to take these answers on into the future. And yes, Maureen says, I've got to confess, I'll be honest. Ray got all 6 tonight, not me. Well, there you go. But Jane Brown and Tim did well. 4 tonight, he says. Tim got the bus one wrong from watching Hinckley, from watching Holiday on the buses. Yeah, because there used to be something about you couldn't stand up as well, but we were on about the smoking. Yeah, one time a day. It's all changed now. But anyway, smoking. You couldn't do smoking downstairs on the lower decks. Go upstairs and do it. There we go. Oh, great fun tonight. So well done. And if it's educated you a bit more about our local area, then that is good too. Absolutely it is. That's fantastic. Right, okay. Right, well, it's just about time for us to clear off again. It's been great to be with you. Now, don't forget, let me just remind you, next Saturday evening, we'll be here at 7:30 for about 15 minutes while we do the live stream, live draw. I knew what I meant. Right, so need a drink. Oh, look, for my HDPP mug. Get yours from Jasper's today. Hang on. So we'll be doing the live stream Saturday evening, and then we'll be here Sunday evening. But it'll be a more sombre affair because we'll be doing the Hinckley Memorial roll call for Remembrance Sunday. So no nosy next week. But the week after, we'll come back. We'll be doing 6 of the best. So there'll be no 6 of the best next week. But we're back to all our normal programming, as it were. Lovely. Now then. So I think I've sorted everything. It's getting ready to come on behind me, so I'm going to get packed up and everything and put my feet up. But Dennis Perkins says, I've definitely been educated tonight. That's good. Keep the likes coming. Like and subscribe. It's been great to be with you, especially with my little Richmond fans. Thank you very much indeed. And I look forward to your company next week and for future dates. Until then, remember to keep it HDPP and to keep it live. Until then, ta-da. Good night. Oh, hello. Just pop back to say this is a part of the programme we never talk about. No, we don't. We don't talk about this, but who would? This is part of the programme so we never talk about. We try to send you off with a smile on your face, have a laugh, and all the rest of it. Oh, now then, Mushroom Man's come back for some dad jokes. Right then, here we go. Are we ready for 1 or 2 dad jokes just to just to send you off with a smile. We hope we can do that this evening, that's for sure. Okay then, here we go. Imagine the scene, a medieval court, okay? The king says, how many volunteers have we for my evil army? The squire says, 384, my liege. King says, good, round them up. Squire says, 400, my liege. Love it. Some of these, of course, all right, some of these you've heard before, I know. But a bear walks into a bar and says, give me a whiskey and a Coke. And the bartender asks, why the big pause? The bear replies, I don't know. I was just born with them. I like this one. What happened when the butcher backed onto his meat grinder? He got a little behind with his work. I've been told I'm condescending. That means I talk down to people. What? What do you a chicken looking at a lettuce? Chicken Caesar salad. Chicken Caesar salad. Fine, nearly at the end now. Here we go. I sat next to an insurance salesman at Robbie Williams' gig last night, and through it all, he offered me protection. Nearly there. Doing this one again. I told a friend I was off to California this summer. He told me to be more Pacific, so I went to Hawaii instead. And finally, naughty one to finish the night with. Whoever said technology would replace all paper obviously hasn't tried wiping their behind with an iPad. Until next week, take care, thank you, and as we say, a real good night. Can you get back now? Put him back in the box. Put him away. Stop laughing now. The jokes are over till next week. Yeah, off you go.